Hey guys, didn't want to bore you with all the cutting out of the jigsaw, but pretty much finished up and have two sides now and a top cut out. Like I said, doesn't have to be anything fancy. Like I said, I do it simple, just with a jigsaw and a metal blade, and it cuts through the aluminum like butter. It's really easy. If you have nibblers or some of the aluminum shears or whatever that you can purchase that are pneumatic, those are great, but most of us have jigsaws, so this works out pretty good. One thing you'll notice when you cut it out with the jigsaw, sometimes your patterns are a little bit, they're not exactly the same. Usually what I will do is take the two pieces that I have, using a 5-inch grinder with a sanding flap wheel. I will usually put both pieces together and make sure that I match all the radiuses on both halves. That way all my radiuses on both sides are identical, and I don't have a back end of my tank lopsided. Because if you do have these off a little bit, when you shape your metal, it's going to flatten the metal out and make it expand a little bit, and it's going to exaggerate any irregularities that you have between the two sides. So make sure that when you do your two sides that you get them matching as close as possible. They don't have to be exact, but make sure that all the radiuses, all the corners are pretty close, because they will be exaggerated once the metal's bent and stretched. One thing that we got to look at on this tank that we're building today is we got some extra stuff on the 750 tank that I usually don't have on my 350 tanks, which I've worked with a little bit. It shouldn't be too big of a problem. The big things that we've got to address first are the fact that we have a chin recess in the top of the tank for a chin pad. The recess that I'm going to do is going to be very close to this, although it's not going to be identical. And also we have our vent tube, which we have to work in also. One thing that you got to worry about when you are working with tanks, especially with the caps, usually the caps have a bung that is welded into the tank that our cap is then epoxied to and screwed on. You have to make sure that you have your cap welded into the top sheet before either of the sides you put on. If you put the sides on the tank and have it shaped, you won't be able to access the corners on the side to weld your bung in place, due to the fact that you won't be able to get into the correct position with your TIG wand and your filler rod. It just doesn't leave enough room to get your angles, to get your weld pool. So very crucial, make sure that you put your filler bung for the cap into the top piece first before you start shaping. Or you can shape, a lot of times depending upon what I have available, sometimes I will go ahead and shape the top piece, get it in pretty much the shape that I want it without sides on it, and then weld the bung in place. Crucial to this tank, first of all, is the fact that we are going to have to get the recessed chin pad location into our top template, our top half. And what we'll do is I'll use a bead roller to roll that in place, and hopefully we'll get that taken care of. I should have some Monza caps in. I don't have any in stock right now, but I'll have some in the next few days, and I'll be able to get the cap welded in place, and we can start rolling along. So there's where we are for right now. We got a top piece cut out and two sides, and we'll start shaping them. So more later.